Hello there, my name is Rick Arnowit. Today we're going to talk about how to make a set of flying lines to an exact length. And as an example, control line speed, carrier, Perky, Fox 35 speed, anything that is timed for speed probably has an exact length of lines they want you to use. And this is from the center of the fuselage to the handle. This is not the eyelet to eyelet length of your line, so you have to include in any lead out lengths, handle lengths, all that kind of stuff. So when you figure out how long you want your lines, measure it out with the handle you have in mind and the airplane you have in mind. Read the rules for your particular event to make sure you use the right line diameter and the line length. So let's see how this is done. Now if you're in the St. Louis area, come visit us at Booter Park. We're the Lafayette Escadrille Control Line Club, where we have 3 paved flying circles and then a carrier deck with some grass, so you can take off from the carrier deck and then fly over the grass. So let's see how this is done. Hi there, my name is Rick Arnowit. Today we're going to cut these lines to an exact length and we're going to have a fixture that holds this end, and then we're going to cut these to a desired length. So what I've done is I used a bulk roll of braided line and then rolled out 65 feet. And then put them on the line, but this one's done. So let's see what the next step is. Okay, now this piece is just a piece of scrap 2x4, and I put 2 5/32 inch pins with some wheel collars. Now these eyelets on the lines will match the pins. So what we're going to do, we're going to drop the lines on top of the pins like that. Now this 100-foot tape here, I put a small wire catch so that I can pull against this, and we're going to use this to measure the length of the lines. So between this black line and the other black line at the other end will be the line length. This is what holds this end firm. So let's roll the lines out and then go back to the other end. Okay, the lines have now been rolled out and stretched. They've been tightened up at the other end, and you'll see what I mean by this. But they're on, so these pins are holding it, and this is staying firm just due to its size. And you can clamp these devices to any firm object within your area. Now I just happened to use these at our flying site because they were available. Okay, so now these are the lines that have been stretched out. Now these 2 blocks here have a bicycle tube epoxy to either side, so the wires are clamped in place so that they can't move. And then we're going to wrap these ends. Okay, you can see here that there's a black line that indicates what is the center of the eyelets. Now what you'll want to have is a 100-foot tape measure. These are very handy because they fit right within our size range that we're working. So we're going to cut these lines to 63 feet 6 inches. Now you just have to move these guys back and forth until you get the length that you want. once you set this, you don't need this anymore. Okay, now it's just a simple matter of dropping down the eyelet onto this pin, and then the eyelet on the opposite pin. And you want to cut two lengths of copper wire long enough so that you can wrap it and then do everything with it. If it's too short, you're going to end up redoing it. Now this is just me, but I wrap the I go around the eyelet twice. Now when I loosen this block, I lost this line tension, but we can fix that when we do this one. But the excess wire goes underneath here too, so it keeps all of this nice and tight. And you can refer to my other video on how to actually wrap the other video that I shot on how to wrap lines. This is the same process that I'm using here. The nice part is I'm getting the line length that I want, and I'm not trying to hold all of this with hands that I don't have. I'm sure there are other tools and devices and processes that other people have come up with, and this is what works for me. Okay, so that's the first round of copper wire. You bring that back. And now we wrap this. This style of ending the lines I've had good luck with. I fly my 14-pound airplane with a set of lines wrapped like this. Once you do a number of these, you'll get faster. Now I cut the wire too long, but that's okay. So once you have Once you have it all wrapped, and then you wrap the two wires together like this, I just bend it back and I run 5-minute epoxy on that. So if you don't put 5-minute epoxy, every time you touch these lines, you're going to be causing some of this to undo. So now we're going to do the other line. The other line is essentially the same thing. Okay, so now both lines have been wrapped. So we have a line that's set to the length that we want. Then the next step is to attach your handle and lines. So now this is just me, but I always keep the lines attached to the handle at all times, because once you trim out the airplane for neutral elevator, if you take the handle off, you may or may not get it on the same up or down line. But if you leave the handle on, it will be adjusted the next time that you do it. And so now there you go. You have your handle, your lines, they're wrapped. They just need to be epoxied, but they're set to the length that you want. Okay, now these are made out of scrap wood in my garage. 5/32" pins, which a wire that we all have, and all of this was made out of almost scrap parts. But now if you're working on the ground, you can pin this to the grass or any surface with something like that.